Alright guys, welcome back to my review of this week's Friday Night Smackdown for August 17th, 2012. And I didn't really care much for this show. I thought it was kind of boring. Not a lot of stuff happened. But one interesting thing was Matthews said on commentary that this was the 25th anniversary of SummerSlam. And I was kind of taken back by this because even though there are some matches on the show that do have potential, it just doesn't feel like SummerSlam, much less the 25th anniversary of it. So, I don't know. I was kind of shocked by that. But Del Rio comes out. He demands his title match at SummerSlam. Booker comes out and says Del Rio's not a man. Del Rio says he's going to get his lawyers involved. And then Jericho comes out, tells him to shut the hell up. He insults him in Spanish. He calls him a chihuahua, which is actually what Del Rio always calls everyone. And Booker breaks them up. He says the match at SummerSlam is still off, but tonight it's going to be Jericho versus Del Rio. Then we get Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara versus Cody Rhodes and The Miz. And Cody Rhodes comes out, and this was pretty good. He says that last week he tried to reveal the Abomination that is Sin Cara's actual face. He tells all small children and elderly to avert their eyes, and then he puts up this goofy looking picture he had a sketch artist put together of Sin Cara's actual face. And Sin Cara takes The Miz to the outside, and while he's got him on the outside, he's kind of hanging from the top rope, and Cody Rhodes goes over and tries to rip his mask off and gets hit with a 619. Rey hits the splash, gets the win. Afterwards, The Miz tries to attack Rey Mysterio with the belt. He gets hit with a 619, and that was it, really. But I do think that because of this, The Miz is definitely going to win at SummerSlam. I think he's been beaten twice now by Rey, so they're still trying to protect Rey, but yeah, I think The Miz is going to keep the belt now. Tyler Rex and Kurt Hawkins come to the ring, and they have a new look. God knows who came up with this. Maybe every week they're going to try and do like a different gimmick or something to get themselves noticed. I hope, because this one sucked ass. This was shit. Yeah, I just didn't care for this at all. They take their clothes off and they're acting like strippers or something. It was just really, really bad. And they beat a couple jobbers. I think they finished them with a power slam neck breaker combo. And I just didn't care at all. This was really bad. Regal is talking to Eve backstage about how he used to be the general manager. And then some woman comes up and asks him to take out the trash. It's just goofy. Teddy Long is out to watch the Divas match. Eve versus Caitlyn. The winner gets to be Booker T's new assistant. And Cole calls Teddy out on being biased. And it was alright, I guess. Eve wins after Crossroads, I think. And so she's the new assistant to Booker T. And backstage, Booker asks Eve if she can get along with Teddy. And she says yes. And she wants to get straight to work. And then she walks off and Booker just does his look. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I liked it for some reason. I thought it was cool, and Booker's doing a great job as general manager. Very entertaining. Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. Bryan gets into it with another fan. Fans chanting yes. Bryan's chanting no. I like that. I think it's going to help get people into it more. The whole no thing. But Bryan gets Orton in the no lock, but Kane's pyro goes off, causing Daniel Bryan to leave the ring. He's freaking out. He releases the hold on Orton, and he's looking around for Kane. The lights come back on. He gets in the ring, gets hit with an RKO, loses, and then Kane walks out, and then he just laughs at Bryan. I don't know. They got the big match at SummerSlam, and this is it, but it's whatever. I mean, the only thing I care about is that Bryan looks strong here, and in my opinion, he did. I thought he looked good against Orton. He had him in the no lock. He could have beaten him, and then Kane screwed it up. So I was fine with that. I really thought he would just do the job. So I'm glad they protected him here against Orton. Antonio versus Zack Ryder. Santino's on commentary. Antonio comes out and does his 5 different languages thing, and I don't know, but Zack Ryder looked really pale for some reason. But Antonio wins with the pancake pile driver. Afterwards, he goes and he pushes Santino into the announce table. Really hope he wins the belt Sunday. Michael Cole and Matthews are talking about how Shawn Michaels won't be at SummerSlam because of his injuries. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really think he's going to be there. It wouldn't make any sense for him to be there. It's not like he can do anything, and who knows. I want to give this guy credit because he came up with a good idea. Give me just a second here. I'm going to try and find his comment. But, yeah, for the pay-per-view this Sunday, I believe it's Rebel X Youth 82, came up with this idea that at the end of Triple H and Brock Lesnar, maybe Brock Lesnar is destroying Triple H, and then The Undertaker comes out and hits the tombstone on Lesnar, setting up their match at WrestleMania. And I thought that would be a great idea because I do think they're going to go with Taker versus Lesnar. That's a match they've wanted to do for a while, and that would be a good way to set up that feud to build towards WrestleMania. Because both Taker and Lesnar are going to have very few appearances. So they could do something with that. The only problem is I don't really see Triple H losing at Mania and then losing to Lesnar. I just don't think he's going to do it. But, maybe I'm wrong. I just thought that was a good idea, and it would be cool to see Taker come out at the end of the show. Another weird thing about this SmackDown, no Ryback, but we get the main event, Del Rio versus Jericho. Backstage, Jericho's walking to the ring. He's attacked by Dolph. Dolph looked really strong here tonight, finally. But Booker comes up. Dolph pushes this giant metal thing into Jericho, and Booker comes up and just tells him to get out of here. I thought that was kind of funny. But Del Rio sees all this and he says, well, I guess that means I win, and I want my match at SummerSlam. Jericho's music hits and he comes down and he does the match. However, Dolph Ziggler comes out, pulls down the top rope, causing Jericho to go to the floor. He tosses him back in. Del Rio hits him with a kick to the head and gets the win. Afterwards, Del Rio puts him in the arm bar, and Dolph Ziggler's just talking shit to him the whole time. And then Sheamus comes down to make the save. He's got the bandages, I guess, from where the fake cops beat him up. And he starts fighting with Del Rio. Del Rio takes off through the crowd. And then Booker T comes out and match is back on, basically. No big surprise here. I think everybody knew the match would be back on. They're not going to just cancel it like that and have no World Heavyweight Championship match. And I still think they could potentially add Orton since he's not on the SummerSlam show. There's a few things they could do. They could have Heath Slater come out at SummerSlam and say, I need to be on this show, and Orton comes out and hits the RKO. Or they could do a last-minute addition and add Orton at the last minute like they did Miz at Money in the Bank. So there's a few things they could do, but either way, Del Rio versus Sheamus is back on, and I think we all kind of expected that. So, yeah, this show was just, I don't know, I just found it boring, and yeah, I didn't really care that much this week. Especially for the SmackDown Go Home show for SummerSlam, the 25th anniversary of SummerSlam. So yeah, that's it really. That's my review of this week's SmackDown. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye.